Is it Thursday? Yes. Thursday. It's a little bit after 6. Um, how's everyone doing this morning? I hope well. I'm a bit tired. For some reason this week I've been a little more tired than normal. When wake up time comes, I don't quite know why, but it is what it is. It is important for me to continually do this in spite of how I feel, in spite of whether I'm tired. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. Obviously, if that's what one feels. Yesterday I was not able to do the meditation. Yesterday was Danae's first day of clinical, so at the time where I would be here doing this, all the lights were on. She was running around like crazy, so it just wasn't something that I could accomplish, in the way that I normally do. So I had to do it, later on my own. But it's all in all, it's been a very interesting week. But I decided this morning that I would begin just by reading a little poem that I wrote a while ago, and then we'll get going. So this one is called Meander. Meander. I decided I would take a deliberate stroll through the garden of my insanity, picking flowers only I can see, smelling bouquets whose aromas only I can identify. It's a labyrinth, to be sure, the unknown, the unexpected lurking round every corner. My heart races with delight and curiosity. Fear looks to keep my feet planted, to keep me from going deeper into the darkness, to disrupt my little meander, for who knows what I might find. But within my high-walled garden I found not despair nor danger, but unparalleled serenity, an escape from the madness without, a refuge from the raging storm of greed, anger, doubt, delusion, grief, confusion, looking to overtake and drown me in a sea of despair. My insanity is comforting. It shows me the beauty of darkness and the need for light. It becomes less scary with each visit. It has become my haven, and it allows balance. And I can stay lost within as long as I like. So that was Meander. Right now we are in the midst of looking at the Manipura chakra, the third, the solar plexus chakra, which is a part of a development of our own sense of purpose, my own sense of self-esteem, where I am willing to cultivate a willingness to gain insight of understanding my own individuality, my own will, my own personal power, and to create that identity separate from the group. The group dynamics were at the core of our first chakra, because again, without that group, we could not even survive. The group, our family, the group that we trust, and so we adopt a lot of their beliefs, their thoughts, their ideals, their behavioral patterns. We adopt a lot of those things because they come from sources that we trust, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. That those group dynamics have allowed us to continue to exist, in over the course of human history. That has kept groups together. But there are levels to this shit, as they say. If you pardon my language, if you're offended by that, I apologize. Sometimes I do color my sentences with. But anyway, good morning, Miss Wanda. And so developing my own sense of individuality, taking a look at the group thoughts, the group beliefs, the things that I do as a result of that, and understanding my own individual contribution to group thought dynamic and to how things manifest in the world. And it's also where I begin to discover the power of making decisions. Just making decisions. Every act is a decision. Some of them are not so much willful, but this is where I start to look at how my own decision making or failure to make a decision and a decision being made anyhow, how that unfolds in my own life and how it contributes to my surroundings, to my circumstances, to my situations. And I begin to develop my inner values, again, by examining all the things that I've been taught over the years and discovering what to keep, what to release, and how to proceed, with those things that I've developed. So we're just gonna again jump right in and seated here comfortably, hopefully, in a position where we can remain for the next 15 minutes or so. Looking forward with an unfocused gaze, breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as we breathe in, we are breathing in life and energy, strength and vitality, renewal, possibility. And as I exhale, releasing all negativity from days past, fear, doubt, anger, frustration, confusion, and just releasing it back into the universe. And with the next out breath, closing the eyes and returning the breathing to normal, in and out through the nose. And as we settle into the meditation, becoming aware of the space in which we are sat, aware of our surroundings, and getting in touch with our physical senses. Feeling the weight of the body pressing down against the seat. And just deliberately noticing that contact between the body and the seat, as well as that contact between our hands and arms and the lap. Noticing any sounds that may be breaking through the morning silence. Loud sounds, quiet sounds, near sounds and faraway sounds. Just noticing as they appear and disappear. Noticing any strong odors or aromas that may be surrounding us. Swirling the tongue around in the mouth and noticing any tastes that may be lingering. while we are fully in touch with these physical senses, taking a moment to check in with the body, the vessel by which we are able to sense all of these senses, starting at the soles of the feet and working our way to the top of the head, just scanning the body part by part, noticing any points of comfort or discomfort, of relaxation or tension. But not stopping to settle on them, just noticing how each part of the body feels and moving on, continuing up. And now just turning the attention to the breath. Without controlling or directing it in any way, we're just observing the breath, watching the body do quite capably one of the many things it was created to do. And specifically where we notice that rising and falling of the breath as we breathe. Do we feel it high in the lungs, in the chest? Or in the diaphragm? Perhaps deep in the belly? And just observing that rising and falling of the breath. And as we settle on that observation of the breath, taking a moment to begin the day, as every day, with gratitude, searching our mind for that for which we are thankful today. This morning I am thankful for change. For though many times change can be difficult and uncomfortable and confusing, everything that is currently my life, everything that I come to love, is the result of constant change. And I say aloud, thank you. And preempting the thoughts and feelings the body and mind may come up with through the course of the day, through my interactions, through my situations, I determined to set the tone for this day. And so I affirm and intend. I am healthy and strong in body, mind, and spirit. I am powerful and confident. I capably and faithfully make decisions in my life, moment after moment. I am free of fear and discouragement. I take ownership over how my decisions play out in my life. I deliberately cultivate a strong energy every day. I am accountable for my every word and action, and I use those words and actions responsibly. And with the tone set for the day, just returning the fullness of that focus to the breath, to watching that rising and falling in the body. If counting helps to keep the focus, we just count the out breaths to a count of 5 before starting again at 1. If the mind begins to wander, it's okay. It's perfectly natural. But the moment that we notice, just retraining that focus on the breath. Again, not controlling or directing it in any way, just watching. It's perfectly natural for the mind to get lost in thought. But if it does, just bring the focus back. If you've forgotten where you left off counting, just start back at 1. And for just a moment, releasing all focus and just allowing the mind to do what it wants to do, to think about whatever it wants to think about. And returning the focus once again to the breath as we begin to transition back to the physical realm, becoming aware once again of the space in which we are currently sat, aware of that space in 3 dimensions. Mindful of the contact between our body and the floor, our hands in our lap, of the sounds that surround us, noticing again any strong smells in the vicinity or any tastes in the mouth. And when we're ready, slowly, gently opening the eyes, looking ahead with that same unfocused gaze and remaining in our position for just a moment as we pull forward from that meditative space our intentions, our affirmations, our gratitude, having set the tone for the day. Well, thank you once again for having spent this time with me. Sometimes, in the beginning, it felt a little foolish to me to be doing this. But as I've continued to do this, it has allowed my thinking to be a bit more clear and to, again, just what I talked about in the beginning, to notice my day-to-day decisions and how they play out in my life. I noticed that I had time to watch TV every day, but I didn't have time to read every day. I had time to scroll social media every day, but I didn't have time to meditate. I've determined, aside from the group dynamic thought process, what is important in my life and what day by day, moment by moment decisions will play out in my mind. I figure if I could read. If I didn't read at all, I get nothing. But if I could just read for 15 minutes a day, just 15 minutes a day, even Monday through Friday, how much could I have read in the span of a month? 15 minutes a day, that's an hour, 15 minutes a week. You're talking about 5 hours a month. That's a solid reading. You can get through, a good sized book in 5.5 hours, in a month, just by taking 15 minutes a day. And that's what I began to see a while back with this meditation, why I continue to do this. And it has allowed me to see so much more and to really reconfigure my time and my energy and my focus around that which is going to take me where I want to go in life. So that's it for today. Have a great day. Spread light and love everywhere you go. I love you, and we'll do this again tomorrow.